Again, we're going to review some of the hands from yesterday, just some selected hands. We're going to start with this one right here with ace under the gun. So I went ahead and I raised it up, and we didn't get too much action. You get one caller from the big blind. We have the flop. Get check two. I go ahead and I overbet the pot because the flush is out. I overbet it a little bit. Sometimes I think maybe I should overbet it more. I get a raise here. Okay, now this has got me a little bit puzzled. I know this player. I know he's a tight grinder. He's very tight. So, in retrospect, I should have known exactly what to do. In retrospect, this guy is not going to be doing a semi-bluff in all likelihood. In all likelihood, he's got something. And since he called a raise, in all likelihood, he's got a set. So, but it could be a semi-bluff. It's not a huge bet, but it's substantial. So I do what everybody would do. I re-raise him, figuring, he's obviously on a semi-bluff. He promptly pushes. It's inexcusable what I do next. Absolutely inexcusable. I call him. There is no way, absolutely no way, he does not have a set. His most likely set is a pair of tens. I'm thinking this all the time my hand is moving the mouse over to call that bet. This is nonsense. This is unforgivable. I could be forgiven for doing it for somebody, but not for this guy here. I know he's a tight grinder. I know he's not doing this with air. I know he's not doing it on speculation. And I know he's not doing it with 10 high. So, anyhow, just moving right along here, we, sure enough, there it is. And there's no reason for me to have not known that. So this hand is a complete bust. I mean, this was just stupid, and I blew a buy-in and a half on what I consider to be a stupid call. Some players, that would not be a stupid call. In this case, knowing my opponent, there was no reason for me to do this. And I can tell you, I was frosted with myself afterwards. So anyhow, that's nothing to be done about that. I mean, it was done. So now we'll look at the next hand. Okay, here we are. And I had gone to a different table, and look what hand I get. So maybe turnabout's fair play. So anyhow, I get a kind of a min raise there. I go ahead and raise it up pretty substantially because I'm not that proud of 10-10. I want to take it down now if I can. Or if he's drawn to an ace, I want to charge him sufficiently to do it. So I get one caller. And looky here, I have a set of tens. So he bets out. Now, what is this bet, pray tell? I have no idea. The only thing I'm thinking is he's on a flush draw, and he's I don't know what this bet's supposed to represent, but I'm not going to have any part of it. So I bet it up to 50. I get a caller. Now, of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if this guy's got king, I got a big problem. But one would think that if he had king on my raise on the button, that he would have re-raised or pushed or done something, just because he don't want the ace to come. If he's got ace, like I said, turnabout is fair play. So anyhow, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking there's a king, but the biggest thing I'm thinking is he's on a flush draw. So the flush doesn't come. There's no straight there. It didn't come in any case. So he bets out. Now, again, I'm looking at this bet, and I'm saying, okay, what the heck is this? It's very consistent with a flush draw. So I'll go ahead and make sure that I charge him up for it. In retrospect, I probably didn't charge enough, but okay. Now I'm really wondering, is this deja vu all over again? Has this guy been just really being an idiot with kings. And then I said, well, if he's got kings, he's got kings. So be it. I wouldn't be the slightest bit surprised to see him turn over KK. Just the way things go. So anyhow, off we go. Flush gets there, and right now I'm hating life. I'm sitting here saying, this is baloney. What the heck do I have to do to get shed of these people? And he turns over ace jack. Well, how about that? So, anyhow, and I draw down a very, very nice pot. Let's go on to the next hand. Got ace king in the big blind. So I just checked around. So I'm going ahead and I raised it up. A reasonable raise. Get one caller on the button. Get the flush draw out there. And nothing much. So I go ahead and I just do a continuation bet. I think it's a pretty reasonable continuation bet. Probably ahead here. The only thing I see calling me that call a big raise is, I've got a decent pocket pair, which in case I'll probably get to see a re-raise here, or at some sort of draw, probably a flush draw, possibly a straight draw. I'll go ahead. Now I've got the ace here. Now, if this person, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what kind of hand has a 5 in it that calls that kind of a raise? And I can't think of too many. So I go ahead and pop it. Get a re-raise, and I'm thinking, God, this person called me with a 5 in their hands. But at this point, it's only $28 more to call, so I go ahead and call it. Club flush gets there. And lo and behold, there is a hand with a 5 in it that would call me. Story of my life. Luckily, it wasn't too expensive. Good old Alice had a flush draw and a straight draw. Had a open-ended straight, 2, 3, 4, 5, open at each end, and a flush draw. So there was no way a thinking player was not going to call my little continuation bet there. Just my bad luck that both the flush and the straight were out. So I can't. Well, if this was not suited, I can't imagine it was called. Even 9-5 suited is a silly call to a 3 big blind raise, but it's not silly if it pays off. So we move along to the next hand. So I got a pair of 8-8s on the button. I go ahead and we have a bet, and I'm going to go ahead and call that. 8-8, I guess, isn't all that wonderful. And we just wait and see what happens. Okay, I've got my set. So we have a check here, and we have a bet there, and I'm figuring this fellow's got overcards. Could have ace king of clubs, in which case we don't want to see any more cards. So we have to charge sufficient for that. So I go ahead and push it up, and in retrospect, this was not a good bet. This was not sufficient. And I needed to push that up because with him betting like that, there's something here he likes, or there's something here he likes. Could be a good pocket pair. He did raise. I'm figuring ace king, jacks, queens, possibly kings. Oh boy, there's a push. Okay, my thinking is at this point, any hand he's got, I've probably got beat. If he's on a flush draw, of course, we get the money in. He's getting basically 50-50 on his hand with a 2-1 against him to make his hand. So I go ahead and I figure, well, I'm good right now. So I call this bet. At this point, I'm feeling golden. Good guy. I'm glad you got whatever you got. Hope you hit the flush just to rub it in. and nothing much comes out, and I'm looking to see what he turns over, and I'm sitting here scratching my head, wondering what in the devil that was all about. When the money went in, he had a 6, 7, 8, and no flush draw. He had a pair of sixes. Now, if I'd had a bear 8 or ace 8 and he pushes, I'd probably lay that down. But I don't see that. But I'm glad he did it. And of course, when that 4th 8 came out, I didn't care what he had, unless, well, there was nothing he was going to get that was going to cause me any harm. So we get a nice pot there. We picked up a decent hand. Go on and see how the rest of the evening played out. Okay, had ace queen suited. Go ahead, I raised it up for $10. Kind of a dumb little min raise. Not sure why I did that. I remember why I did that. I was watching another table. I think we had a wild man on one of the 10-20 tables, and I was watching that, and I almost missed. Almost timed out, so I think I just hit the min raise button. So I think that's the reason for that. But anyhow, I get a raise here, and my usual morning frog here. So I go ahead and call that, and I get a really good flop, but I have a flush draw out, so I hit it. I overbet the pot, figuring, if he wants to pay to draw to the flush, pay up. And if you get it, you're not getting any more money. So there comes the flush. I check. Then he does this. Okay, what the heck is that? To me, that is sort of a nonsensical, and he doesn't know what I have, but all I need to do is get another queen or ace out there, and he's out of business if you get the flush. So it's $20 and a $188 pot. I'm going to call that. I don't know what he's got. So I call it, and now we've got not only flush draw, but we got the eights paired. Ace 8 is definitely a hand he could have. That little min bet with the flush out, he could have had ace 8. He could have had just a bear 8. I don't know why he would call an overbet with just a bear 8. My best guess is he either had the flush draw and he hit the flush and tried to get cute and got away with it, or he had an 8 or an ace 8 or something, and the 8 makes his hand, because the next thing he does is pushes. Okay, all this thinking process went on after I saw the push, which I knew was coming because I played this yesterday. And so I do the All-American thing, right? Red-blooded American? Yeah, no, I don't. I fold. And he got an extra $20 out of it. So he put his hand in jeopardy for a $20 bet. Luckily, he got away with it. The only hand that he does any good there with is if he had just a bear 8. Or if he had ace 8, then he's afraid of the flush too until he gets the other 8, and then of course he's not afraid of the flush, and he's hoping I have one. So anyhow, now we have our friendly ace again. Sometimes I have a hard time with ace. So I go ahead and raise it. Get one caller, get two callers. Now I'm not very pleased with life right now. Okay, well, $54. I put 51. I think 51 was in there. The $3 went off to the rake. So I match the pot. Get one caller. Bless his heart. Okay, what's he got here? No, nothing. Maybe a draw. Maybe a straight here, but that's. Okay, that didn't do a thing for him. So if he's got a king only, I'm still in pretty good shape. So I go ahead and push a substantial bet out. Don't know what he's got, and I put him all in. And go ahead and if he had a 7, I'm hating life again. And he had King Jack. And so I take down a nice pot on that. Guess I can't fault him for... Yes, I can. I wouldn't call it. But then I get pushed off with a lot of hands where I probably have the winning hand. So I'm easy to push. That's why I cover my name up. I don't want you guys coming and beating me up. So that was about all of the substantial hands that I had yesterday. Ended up a fair amount. Gonna go get some more coffee. So, but that first play where I call that set, that was as plain as the nose on my face, and that was unforgivable. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy these hands, and as always, I appreciate your comments.